A strange world. It's hard to tell whether it's real or virtual. A story of a thrilling journey. But this is not just another mystery or thriller. It answers some of the deepest questions of our lives. Is what we see truly real or just a simulation? So, let's explain the sci-fi and thriller movie The Virtuosity, 1995. At the very beginning of the story, we see two police officers getting off a train. One is Parker, and the other is his partner, Donovan. There's fear written on their faces as they are on the hunt for a terrifying serial killer named Sid. But what's surprising is that everyone around them is wearing the same kind of outfit, and their behavior barely differs from one another. Parker and Donovan arrive at a restaurant. There, they find the notorious killer, Sid. Parker tries to apprehend Sid, and a daring shootout begins. But Sid escapes using his smart tactics. Strangely, the people around them don't seem bothered by the gunfire. Everyone appears to be minding their own business. In one corner of the restaurant, Sid and Parker shoot at each other. In the crossfire, Parker accidentally shoots one of the restaurant staff. Both Parker and Sid are moderately injured. Just then, Parker realizes that his partner Donovan is missing. That means Sid had electrocuted Donovan and killed him. Immediately after that, Sid tries to electrocute Parker as well, and Parker disappears from the scene. At first, we think it's a familiar story of the real world, but soon we realize this world isn't real. It's a highly advanced virtual game. Parker and Donovan were extracted from the game because they were terrified and almost dying. But Donovan wasn't so lucky. Since he was electrocuted inside the virtual reality, the effect hit him in real life too, causing a heart attack, leading to his death. This program was created by Elizabeth and her team, originally designed as a police training simulation. In this virtual reality, officers were tested in extreme situations to build their skills. The simulation was so perfect that it became difficult to distinguish between real and virtual. But now, the program had become dangerous. Donovan's death shocked the whole team. Parker accused the system, saying Sid had cheated, because in the original programming, Sid wasn't supposed to be able to electrocute anyone. This means Sid was somehow upgrading himself without any programming input. At this, Elizabeth announced, "This program needs to be shut down," but the program's creator was not happy with this decision. Parker and Donovan were both prisoners. However, if they could defeat Sid, they would be released. Since Parker couldn't defeat Sid, he was sent back to prison again. In reality, one of Parker's hands is made of metal, and he once was a police officer. The reason why he ended up in jail will be revealed later. Parker is sent back to his previous cell. Since he was formerly a police officer, no one in the cell likes him. The moment he enters, a fellow inmate attacks him with a knife, but Parker defeats him easily.
Creator of Sid, whose name is Leader, was speaking to virtual Sid through a large screen. Due to pressure from higher authorities, Leader wanted to shut down Sid's program. However, Leader was happy that Sid had generated electricity on his own. Leader is somewhat of a psycho-type person. He wants to destroy this world through Sid, so he seeks advice from Sid on what he should do. On the other hand, Sid wants to execute his own twisted and filthy plan. His desire is to cross the boundaries of virtual reality and enter the real world, so he informs Leader of a particular method to do so. Later, Leader visits his friend Daryl, a scientist. Daryl has made a terrifying invention, nanotechnology, through which anything from the virtual world can be brought into the real world. Using this nanotech module, Daryl has already brought a snake from the virtual world. Daryl cuts off the snake's tail. Later, when the cut-off part touches glass, the snake returns to its original form. In fact, a module has been used inside the snake, which allows the snake to heal its own wound upon contact with glass. But if this module is removed, the snake will die. However, Daryl wants to bring the best creation of the virtual world, a human. So he helps Leader by creating a nanotech module that will be used to bring Sid into reality. Daryl succeeds in bringing Sid into the real world, but Sid brutally kills him. Seeing this, Leader flees in fear. Sid considers himself the king of this world. He has come to destroy this world. He cuts his own finger and upon touching glass, regenerates it again. Meanwhile, Billy, a crime therapist, visits Parker in jail. He mainly comes to know about the mystery behind the SID program. He is also writing a book about it. Parker informs Billy that the SID model has inherited the characteristics of a dead psychopath killer named Matthew Grimes. The way Matthew Grimes used to speak sarcastically, Sid does the same. Matthew Grimes was killed by Parker himself, and it was because of Grimes that Parker lost one of his hands. It becomes clear that there was intense enmity between them. Later, we will find out the reason behind it. On the other hand, Parker is given an opportunity from inside the prison to stop Sid. The police offer him a deal. If you can destroy Sid, we will set you free. Somehow, Sid has entered the real world and committing murders. But if Parker can destroy Sid, then as per the condition, he will be released from prison life. Parker agrees to the deal. After this, a tracker is connected to Parker's brain, so his location can be identified. Crime therapist Billy is appointed as Parker's assistant. Parker and Billy head out toward a crime scene where Sid has already committed a murder. When they arrive, they find a headless corpse and a message written on the wall. The pattern used in this murder is exactly the same as the one used by a notorious killer who died many years ago.
It becomes clear that Sid is copying the patterns of other infamous murderers. He starts by mimicking the Manson murders. Then he starts copying other murders like Zodiac and Dahmer. They go to a special facility to analyze Sid's previous models. There, they find that Sid possesses the traits of about 200 serial killers. Parker notices that Matthew Grimes is among them. That means everything that once ran through the minds of those 200 killers now runs inside Sid's brain. Billy quickly returns home to see his daughter, Corinne. He seems very worried about her. Billy calls Cochran to ask why Grimes had attacked Billy's family in the past. Cochran explains that Billy had gotten very close to exposing Grimes's plans, so Grimes kidnapped Billy's family to distract him. It becomes evident that Billy also had some enmity with Matthew Grimes. Sid is not just a killer. He's an unstoppable psychological monster. His only goal is to make himself famous. He believes, if people fear me, they will remember me. This goal pushes him down a terrifying path. With that intention, he goes to a club where everyone is dancing in leather outfits. Right at the start, he blows off the head of an automated robot bartender, forcing everyone to drop to the ground in fear. Then he forces a woman to film his actions. Seeing himself on the screen makes him extremely happy. SID begins to remix the sounds of people's screams, a clear sign of his deranged mind. Parker gets out of the car, enters the club, and shoots directly at SID's chest, but nothing happens. SID leaps into an elevator and escapes from the club. He then steals a police car and tries to flee. Parker jumps onto the car and fires his gun, but still fails to stop SID. SID even eats the broken glass from the windshield. Meanwhile, Parker and Lily chase after him, but SID jumps out of the car and escapes by leaping off a bridge. SID then enters an electronics store and broadcasts last night's attack footage across all the TV screens. When a man tries to change the channel, SID breaks his neck. He realizes where he needs to go to become truly famous, so he heads to a wrestling stadium. Parker and Billy understand this and rush to the stadium as well. There, SID tricks the crowd and kills the control room staff. He jumps into the ring trying to make himself a star, but Parker arrives just in time. Seeing Parker, SID flees again. During his escape, he injures his hand. Parker chases him. Sid boards a metro train and uses the glass inside to heal himself again. After that, Sid takes a woman hostage and begins taunting Parker. Parker, in a fit of rage, fires his gun.
The bullet hits the woman, and she dies. Sid escapes on the train. Parker is arrested by the police and taken back to prison. Since Parker has killed someone in public, Cochran fails to get him released.
Flashbacks show that Parker was once a skilled police officer, but a tragic incident changed his life forever. He was assigned to surveil a dangerous criminal, Matthew Grimes. The rivalry between them intensified to the point that Matthew set a deadly trap, killing Parker's wife and daughter with a time bomb as soon as they opened their front door. Parker also lost one of his hands in the explosion. While taking revenge, Parker accidentally killed innocent people for which he was imprisoned. Even now, those memories haunt him. Suddenly, Parker wakes up in a vehicle transporting him. SID, a malicious entity, kills the police officers in the car. SID informs Parker about the tracking device in his head. Elizabeth and her team didn't just implant it for tracking, but also as a kill switch that can terminate him within 30 seconds if triggered. SID urges Parker to escape and gives him a gun to frame him for the officers' deaths. But Parker escapes instead and calls Billy to warn that Elizabeth's group is trying to kill him through the device. His assumption turns out to be true, but Cochran interrupts and foils Elizabeth's plan. Parker, standing at his wife and daughter's graves, vows to avenge them. He's not just a cop. He's a father, a husband, and a man with immense strength. He won't let monsters like SID destroy another family. Meanwhile, SID launches a horrifying scheme. He hijacks a major live television event to showcase his brutal power. The streets are chaotic, filled with armed, chanting people. SID storms into the TV booth, kills the crew, and begins a terrifying broadcast titled Death TV. He shoots a man on live TV and announces he is ready to show any kind of murder just for the viewers' entertainment. To shock the world further, SID announces his next target will be a little girl, Karen Carter, Billy's daughter. He threatens to blow her up soon. Billy breaks down in tears, but Parker promises to save her. He gives Billy one task: cut off all phone and network lines to the TV booth. SID states that Karen will be blown up in 2 hours. His audience numbers grow rapidly. Fame-hungry SID enjoys every second. But Parker realizes SID's real motive is his twisted obsession with being famous through violence. SID's creator, the leader, watches all this with twisted amusement. But Billy manages to catch him. Meanwhile, SID inserts a gun into a man's mouth during the live broadcast. But when the network is cut, he lets the man go because he's no longer being watched. Furious and confused, SID loses his grip. Parker arrives. He shoots SID, but SID escapes through the walls. They engage in a brutal fight. Eventually, Parker throws SID into a glass structure. Shards pierce his body, tearing him apart. Yet SID tries to regenerate. Then Parker uses his metal arm to pierce SID's head, extracting the Nanotech module and deactivating him. Still, Billy is terrified. Only SID knew where Karen was being held. The leader claims SID's defeat means there's no hope left to find Karen. When Parker holds SID's module, he momentarily enters an alternate reality where SID wins and throws him off a building, but nothing happens to him. It is revealed Parker and Billy are trapped in a virtual reality system. In this simulation, they hope to locate Karen. SID doesn't realize this and begins flirting with Billy, eventually kidnapping her and revealing Karen's location. Billy is then disconnected from the VR system, causing her to vanish, confusing SID. Meanwhile, the leader doesn't want Billy to find her daughter or for SID to be destroyed. So the leader kills Cochran, which traps Parker inside the VR. Now understanding the manipulation, SID tries to kill Parker using sensory overload. At the same moment, Billy shoots the leader and disconnects Parker from the system. SID, now enraged, lets out a furious scream. Elizabeth and Parker realize they must destroy SID's model from within the virtual world to stop him. Parker deletes SID's character model, erasing his existence. Now, Parker and Billy launch a mission to save Karen.
She's tied to a pressure switch surrounded by deadly laser beams. Even the slightest move could trigger an explosion. Parker enters the chamber and carefully removes a wire from his mechanical arm and connects it to the bomb's control system. Time is running out, but Parker, with his sharp mind and brave heart, loops the timer and disables the bomb. Eventually, the bomb squad arrives and safely deactivates the device. Karen is rescued alive. A sense of freedom fills the air. Parker, Billy, and Karen are finally reunited with joy and relief on their faces. One dark chapter ends and a new dawn begins. This story leaves us with a powerful message. We must understand the power and limits of technology. No matter how advanced it becomes, in the wrong hands, technology can be a curse. But in the right hands, it's a blessing.